Welcome to the Introverted Doctor podcast, the podcast that uncovers myths, mistakes, and misconceptions that holds healthcare professionals back from living their best life at work, home, and play. I'm Dr. Lalit Chawla, and with each episode, I'll be focusing on different aspects such as communication techniques, mindset, routines, tools, and strategies with the goal to show how to eliminate anxiety, trip-ups, and unwelcome results that come from ineffective communications. Now, this podcast is all about laughter, and in this time where we have a lot of anxiety and worry, this is a really good time to talk about this. And as I'll talk about, laughter is the best medicine. The science is clear that humor helps in so many ways. In fact, I recently interviewed Hayley, Wickenheiser, one of the greatest hockey players in the world, a real legend in many ways, and she was talking about how laughter has helped her on and off the ice in creating a better environment for herself and others. That episode will be airing next week or so, and it was really a personal highlight for me. Now, some of the most successful people I've met and read about, they know how to laugh and find humor in their day-to-day life. In fact, you can't survive without it. It's hard, especially in the world of medicine. And if you are surviving, you most likely are not thriving. How many people do you know in your workplace that don't laugh or are willing to laugh? So the essential question today is, how often do you laugh in your day or during the week? Laughter is the best medicine because of the positive endorphins that we release when we laugh. Now, depending on what statistic you read, people laugh anywhere from 5 to 17 or more times in a day. In my experience, I've seen enough people, especially doctors, who don't always seem to laugh a lot. And I'm not sure why. Maybe they feel it's wrong to laugh or smile. But my experience is that patients, staff, and colleagues like it when you laugh. And as a healthcare provider, that you're able to laugh and you know how to find the humor in life. We know that laughter increases the endorphins in our bodies, boosts our immune system, decreases pain, decreases our stress level, it lowers our blood pressure, boosts our mental activity, and sharpens our ability to do things, and even burns calories. Even more so, laughter is the shortest distance between two people. Have you ever been in a situation where there may be conflict or tension and something funny happens and the whole mood changes between the two people? Nothing is better than a shared laugh. I've seen people ready to fight and then something funny happens, and then they stop being angry at each other, and then they start to look for common ground, and they sometimes even become friends. You know, a shared laugh changes the energy between the people for the better. So there's some real magic in that. Now, laughter and humor is a skill that can be learned and that needs to be nurtured and cultivated on a regular basis. And I think there are two components to this, or two questions to ask. The first, are you in a state where you're willing to laugh at things? I think in order for laughter to even occur, both people have to be in a receptive state to catch or engage in the everyday funniness of life or situation or joke. Sometimes we're just too busy or too serious in the work that we're doing that we forget to laugh. And in the world of medicine, or even outside of medicine, there's a lot of hard and crappy and sad things that happen. And if we don't find a way to laugh or lighten our inner spirit, and if we don't find the day-to-day joy that can occur, then you'll get burnt out and you won't last the long haul. I'm really fortunate enough that where I work, people do want to laugh, and that's not often the case in certain work cultures. Some work cultures are void of laughter, and I'm willing to bet that those places that are also void of joy and probably have a higher turnover rate of staff and burnout rate. Now, I bet you can tell how productive a work environment is by observing if people are smiling or laughing. Studies have shown that happy people are productive people, and happy people know how to laugh. I think there may be a myth that if you are laughing, you're not productive or doing proper work, and that simply is not true. In the world of medicine, you can do both without sacrificing patient care or clinical outcomes. So much of the work in medicine, has such a heaviness to it in terms of dealing with people's illnesses and life situations. And if you do not have a way to counteract that stress, you'll get burned out and you'll fatigue. Laughter just elevates the work culture. And that leads me to the second part of the laughter equation. And that is, if you should try to be funny or try to tell jokes or be funny. I know that I'm always trying to make jokes and trying to find the humor, and anybody who works with me understands that. And we have a ton of laughter when we're doing things. Now, you may be saying, you know what, Lalit, these podcasts aren't really all that funny. And I've got to say that, you're pretty darn right. They're not really funny because there's so much information and stories that I'm sharing. And if they were funny, I'd probably call it the comical doctor. But that's just, these podcasts don't really work that way. But if we do ever get to know each other, you'll find out that I really like to laugh a lot and find the humor. Now, in fact, I'm working on a book which I'm kind of debating if the title that I'm working on would be appropriate. But anyway, that's another story. So now here's the thing with humor. You have to try to be funny and see if a joke or situation will land. If you listen to the best comedians, they'll tell you that being funny is a skill and something that you can create and become. Now, at no time am I advocating teasing or making fun of someone. My father one time caught me laughing at someone when I was a kid, and he said to me, teasing is the lowest form of humor because it takes no intelligence to laugh at someone else's expense. And he told me never tease anyone because that's not really even humor. And I remember, hearing that, and I thought there's great wisdom in that. But I do have a caveat that sometimes if people are making fun of politicians, I don't find it very offensive. So I got to say, sorry, Dad. I kind of like that kind of humor. But I digress. So in summary, make sure you have some room in your life for laughter. And you do this on a consistent basis because there are so many benefits to your health, your work culture, and your home culture. You should find ways to laugh, whether it's by reading comics or watching videos that make you laugh. I know that I appreciate my good friend Kathy, who are always posting some funny stuff on Facebook that makes me laugh, and then I in turn repost it to some friends of mine. To certain friends because they're just hilarious, and I hope you have some good friends like that. So I'll leave you with two final thoughts. Are you willing to find the funny in a situation? Are you willing to laugh if someone tries to make a joke? Because laughter is the best medicine, and that, my friends, is no joke. I hope this podcast served you in some way, and if you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, please share this with a friend or colleague and subscribe to us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. And if you go to the introverteddoctor.com and sign in there, you'll get my weekly emails about the podcast episodes that will be coming out. I'm Dr. Lalit Chawla, and thank you so much for listening. Let's together make this a more effective community, healthier community, where we live with a lot of harmony, passion, and live with full magic in everything that we do. To great health to you and your family. Have a great day and a great weekend.